Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us on our talk series, Connecting the Dots. As a consumer, I was having a very tough time understanding what exactly clean food is and how to identify them, where do you get them from. My frustration was that just as veg and non veg food have identification marks of dots, why do clean foods not have that? And hence White Dot was born through my own frustration. So we see a lot of adverts and reels, buzzwords related to food, and we think we're all a bit confused as to what is good, what is not good. Is it healthy? Can we eat it? So does it have a lot of preservatives? Half the ingredients we don't understand, right? So there should be a simpler way to understanding whether it's clean, it's healthy, it's not. The average person spends about 15% of their day thinking about food. So why don't we keep it simple? And that's just what White Dot stands for. We stand for products that have a short ingredient list, that do not have added preservatives, no refined flour, no refined sugar, GMO free, healthy fats, less processed, and whole grain foods. So that's what White Dot is. And to help us build this awareness and answer so many questions about food and how it impacts our body, we have a special guest here with us today. She is one of the sought after fertility experts, a certified laparoscopic surgeon trained in Cochin with an accredited ART, that's assisted reproductive technology, specialist in Hyderabad. She has a basic and an advanced diploma in reproductive medicine from Germany, member of various prestigious organizations like the Indian Fertility Society, Federation of Gynecology Society, Associate of Gynecological and Robotic Surgery, and is currently a fertility consultant at Cloud9 Hospitals in Banjara Hills. So she's here to help us understand how fertility is impacted by our food choices. Please welcome Dr. Sindhura to connect the dots. Dr. Sindhura?
Yeah.
Hi,
Hi,
good
thank you.
evening.
Thank you for that. Good evening.
Thank you for coming on here. So, this is a very personal topic for me as I was also having difficulties conceiving. And during that period, all I could do was, Google what are the healthy foods, what's going to help me conceive a lot more quicker, what's going to help my hormones get balanced out. And whatever I read, I put in my mouth, literally. And I'm sure there are lots of women who go through that same, phase of trying to conceive and being depressed that it's not happening, and then just taking anyone's and everyone's advice and eating whatever they find as the source to help them conceive or balance their hormones or get fix their PCOS or the endometriosis. So little do we know about how food impacts our fertility. So let's bust some fertility myths here. So are you ready? Let's get
Already.
into it. All right, cool. So, to start off with, what is your idea of what clean food is?
Well, clean food is something, it's more like a more purified form. You don't like, you don't go to the easy foods or packed foods, which are convenient foods. You don't go to them. So, for example, instead of going for a packed potato chips, you make your potatoes, you make the potato chips in the house. To make it
Right.
simpler, yeah. To make it simpler, instead of just going for a packed or stored foods or anything that is over the shelf with a long shelf life, they're not the clean foods. So
Why
anything
is
with a
that?
wholesome purity.
Wholesome
Um,
purity, you said. That's like very
yes,
beautifully describing it. That's great.
yes.
But why is it that they're not good? Like things that have preservatives in them.
See, I mean, I'm a fertility expert, so you know that I talk a lot about hormones. I talk a lot about eggs, sperms, all
Right.
together. So
Okay.
yeah, all these. I mean, there are a lot of endocrine disrupting chemicals. Recent newspaper also there was an article about it. Like
Correct.
what does it do? For all these preservatives, they're going to use certain substances to hold their nutrition. I mean, not nutrition value. It's more like to make them not get uh,
Boiled.
say, spoiled. Yes,
Right.
yes, to increase the longevity. So they
Right.
use certain chemicals. So and they are stored in the plastic covers. These itself will have some certain EDCs. We call it as EDCs, endocrine disrupting chemicals.
Right.
Like they bisphenol, phthalates, all of these. And sometimes some of the, I mean, a lot of us use makeup. And I personally love makeup. So all these makeup stuff does have like phthalates. So
Right.
they're all bits and little bit quantities is absolutely okay. Too much of anything, too less of anything is bad. Everything has to be a balance.
Yeah,
So
I mean, you can't be
nowadays,
100% clean.
yes,
It's just not possible,
clean.
right?
Yes, yes.
Right.
Uh, yeah, me being a working mom, I also, tend to go for easy foods.
Right.
But again, anything overly excess, it'll disrupt your hormones in your body.
Correct. That's true. So, how does refined sugar basically affect your fertility hormones?
Okay, so refined
We
sugars are
all love
nothing
our
but
sugar, right? I mean, you're pissed off, you're PMSing, you've got your periods, you don't have your periods. Either ways, you want your sugar. So,
so these refined sugars are nothing but simple carbs. Anything that is simple, it's easily absorbed into the body. When that's easily absorbed, there's a lot of glucose available in your bloodstream. So initially, what you does, your pancreas squeezes and leaves the insulin into your bloodstream. I mean, there are a lot of medical terms, so I'll just go a little slow here. So this insulin, it saves some of the glucose and converts into, like, after some of it's used, it stores into fat. Now,
right,
after that, there's still more glucose coming. What does it do? Now, it's just like us, if we run for a mile, some of us, get tired after 5 minutes, after 10 minutes, some of us can run up to half an hour. Same thing
right,
happens with everybody's body. So your insulin also works the same way. When you constantly pump in your sugar, increasing glucose, the insulin gets tired, and then it gets you get insulin resistance. So one, you're getting excess fat stored. Other one, your insulin is become very resistant. So your blood sugars are high. So you're prone for diabetes again.
yeah.
And because of all this is happening, your body goes into a shock. It kind of it doesn't understand what's happening. So it
I don't know what
gets
you've just
alert.
given me.
Yeah, it gets alert. So your stress hormones are high. Your
Okay.
free oxidative radicals are high. It kind
Oh.
of just panics.
Right. Now it's making a lot more sense because when I would go for these fertility treatments, they'd be like, "You need to relax, you need to de-stress," and I'm like, "You're stressing me out over here already. How am I supposed to relax?" So yes, that makes sense now that it's because of the foods that you're consuming, your body's under stress. So what they actually mean is reduce the kind of food, the carbs or the sugars that you're taking in because that increases the stress in your body, not the mental stress that they're talking about.
No, it's not the
Okay.
mental state.
Makes a lot more sense now. I wish someone had explained it that way. So, how does food impact your fertility in terms of hormones? You've explained a little bit, but there's also something called seed cycling that a lot of nutritionists are talking about. So, how does that help balance your hormones?
Okay, so I mean, to understand, this is do we have boys also there in the
Yeah,
group?
yeah, yeah.
Oh, well, then it's good.
Yeah, I think
So
we've got quite a
they
few
will
boys as well on
they'll
Instagram.
understand why PMSing happens too.
Okay,
Yeah. So in a cycle, there are two halves. In a month, you have two halves. The first
right.
half is the egg growing month, and the second
Mhm.
half is an ovulation. And then there's certain kind of hormone that comes out. When the egg is growing, there's estrogen that comes out. So estrogen is like a happy hormone. So it wants you to look nice. It wants you to go shopping. So there are a lot of things. Yeah. You're very nice to your partners. All
Right.
these. After the ovulation comes the progesterone. Now,
Mhm.
progesterone, it makes you feel
The
bloated.
angry
It makes you
hormone.
yeah. So it's basically it's a stabilizer for your endometrium. But yeah,
Uh-huh.
for us, how we I mean you get acne, you're bloated, you're moody, all these things. So these has to be in balance
Hmm.
for your for you to function well. So it depends on the kind of egg that comes out that month. So when you eat these kind of like I would say bad foods, yeah, not so clean foods. When you eat that, your body's focus is somewhere else. So your
Hmm.
body tries to focus on what is happening with you. So your fertility takes a toll. It really doesn't focus there
Hmm.
because fertility is something it's not necessary for you to do day to day living. Whether you have kids, you don't have kids, you still have can lead a happy life. It's not like
Right.
your air, water, food, where it is a necessity. It's a luxury to
Right.
the body. So
Right.
when you're stressed out, your body's focus is on what's happening with you. For your body, you're the baby. It's going to take care
Right.
of you first. Then comes your baby.
True.
So
That's very
yeah, yeah. In it, just this is what all of it happens. I think I forgot the question what you asked. I think I'm a little deviated from the
That's all
question.
right. No, in terms of how does food impact your the seed cycling part, how does it impact your hormones?
Acha, yes, yes.
So the
So
happy
yeah,
hormones and the angry hormones.
angry
So
hormones.
either women
See,
are happy or they're angry. Is that it?
no, it's always a balance. It's always
Correct.
balance. You need to be angry sometimes. You need to be happy sometimes. You can't just
True.
be the same all throughout.
That's true.
Yeah.
Correct.
So
Okay.
there are certain properties in the food, and also in your especially pumpkin seeds, your sunflower seeds. They have magnesium, they have zinc. All of
Mhm.
this is necessary for your for general health. In
Right.
uterus, what it does, it relaxes the joint muscles. Like the blood flow is increased, and all the pain, your contractions. Magnesium basically relaxes. It doesn't let your uterus cramp. That's what
Okay.
it does for any muscle. So uterus is nothing
And
but a
that's
muscle.
why it reduces the cramps and the
Yes,
pains and
it
stuff. Okay.
yes cramps and the pain.
Right.
So yeah, that's how it regulates. So diet has a major role. See, all the medications are temporary. Me being a
Mm.
doctor and allopathic, I practice allopathy. I still would recommend permanent solution is always food.
Just one moment. We can't hear you on the Insta live. Sorry. Are you connected on Instagram?
I am. Should I increase my volume?
Yeah, if you can do that.
Can they hear me now?
Yeah, just one second. Um, okay. Sorry, up until now, it just looked like I was talking to myself and smiling on Instagram, not on the Zoho. We're fine there. So I think now you're connected, yeah?
Yes, yes. I think
Okay.
I have now.
Right. Great. So can you reduce your volume on the phone? So we just go
Yes.
with one echo. All right, perfect. Um, is that fine? Are we good now, guys? Can you all hear us all? Okay, brilliant. Right. So, right. That's better, yeah? Um, how does processed food impact your sexual life? This I'm sure a lot of people would want to know.
So
Your libido, basically.
yes, yes. So for the Instagram users who missed out on
Everyone, I'm
this,
sure everyone wants to know how
yeah,
can improve your libido.
yes, yes. So what happens is when you eat processed food, again, like I said, uh, most of the processed foods are simple carbs. They're easy to be absorbed into your system. So, again, your fat content increases. You're more prone for diabetes and oxidative stress increases.
Right,
When these things happen, let's break it down to stepwise. Okay, when you put on fat, obesity. Now, because of obesity, in men it affects differently. In females, it affects differently. In men, what really happens, because of the obesity, they can have erectile dysfunctions. They can now they can have a low sperm count. Motility of the sperms can reduce. There are the normal looking sperms can reduce. All together can coexist together. Now, why this should happen? See, testes is outside a male body for a reason because your temperature should be lower than your body temperature.
right.
When there is abdominal fat or thigh fat, this itself generates heat to your
Heat.
testes. And also, when you sit for a long time, you know nowadays all most of you all are IT or desk jobs. When you do
Right.
that, you make sure your chairs are not leather or you wear jeans. That itself will cause heat. So,
Oh my.
yes, yes. So all these
Okay.
do impact, but they're all temporary. Once you remove from that source of causing the problem, all of this can be reversed.
Right, but I think also a lot of people for their snack time are going for quick snacks of vada pav or samosa and all these things, and they're all cooked in refined oil. So how does that impact for men especially as well in the IT sector? How does that impact their libido or their fertility drive? Because nowadays
Like
you're
I
seeing a lot of it's not just women who are having problems, it's also men who are having these kind of problems. So how does all of that, like eating packet foods or quick instant meals and whatever you find quick on the roadside like a sandwich or a samosa, how does that impact them?
like I said, like the fat itself, that can cause obesity.
Right.
One, it hits on your confidence. The second, not all of them, some of them. Yeah. And the second, erectile dysfunction. Uh,
Right.
yeah. And nowadays, the erectile dysfunction is a very big confidence blow for a man. And,
Right.
a lot of them don't come out talking about it yet. For
Correct.
a female, okay, let's just stick to the male for now. So, what also happens, like I said, for your body, you're the baby. When you put on weight, that itself is a stress to the body. So your brain's focus is somewhere else. Again, brain signals to the reproductive organs. your blood flow to the reproductive organs reduces. That itself can, affect your sperm production. And also,
Right.
uh, again, the count also, the motility reduces. So
Right.
if you have sperm, when there are no moving sperms, again the pregnancies will, as well. And your libido also will reduce. Again, like I said, your testosterone. So your testosterone levels either too high is bad, too less is bad.
Right.
Most
It's not in balance, basically,
it's
then.
not in balance. When
Right.
you don't have that, your libido is affected. And
And
your
what
sperm
about
will
women? Is it just childbirth that completely kills the libido, or is it the hormones out of balance?
no, no. I think it's more than the hormones and out of balance. It's the focus.
Right.
Once a child is born, the woman's focus is somewhere else. It's not on her anymore.
Well, I
On
don't
the
think that's the
husband or
case for
anymore.
everybody. I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of women who are, who are very sexually active, and their libido seems to be fine. But for a lot of women, their libido takes a hit because their hormones post delivery or while you're trying to get pregnant, your hormones are all over the place, right? And so that does, at least I think it might impact the body in a certain way.
For women, the same thing, like I said, it depends on the egg that comes out that month. When you have, based on your egg, you have the amount of estrogen and the progesterone.
Hmm?
That has to be balanced. When there is imbalance between these two,
Right.
or when there is prolonged second half of the cycle, I mean, there is no prolonged second half of the cycle, just that, when you have prolonged progesterone, especially after the childbirth, when you're breastfeeding and all of that, this hormone itself can cause very less libido because of the dryness, because of the bloating, because of the mood swings, because of your acne, oiliness,
The
all of
angry
this.
hormone. So the angry hormone is responsible for all of this chaos.
Yes, and also when there is not a very good quality egg that is coming out, your estrogen is also not so good. Like I
Right.
said, estrogen is a happy hormone. You actually feel very energetic.
Right.
Yeah. So
And then automatically your libido would go up if your
yes,
estrogen
good girl.
levels are fine. Right.
Yes,
Got it.
yes,
Okay.
that should be.
And in the last 20 years or say 10 years, do you feel that the number of cases for PCOS or um, PCOD, right?
PCOS, PCOD.
Okay,
That's
PCOD.
the
Okay,
two
they're both the right
terminologies.
terms. Okay.
Mostly
That
interchangeable, but they're
and
different.
okay, but endometriosis, all of these sexual health related problems, do you feel that they have increased over the last couple of years?
Uh, I think the awareness has been increased.
Right.
See, like I said, like all of us are born with a policy. I mean, with a lot of eggs. Women are born with a limited bank balance to be born with.
Correct.
You can't increase your bank balance. There's only a depletion in it.
Right.
What happens is, every month there are thousands of eggs that are coming out, and out of which 999 are dying out, and your brain chooses only one. This is what in a normal body, normal good functioning body that happens. Sometimes what happens, like I said, when your brain is preoccupied,
Hmm.
among this thousand, not all of them die. Some of them are
Right.
left behind. Now, these are neither the good ones that are helping us,
Hmm.
nor they're dying and going out. They're just there. They
Okay.
don't help us. They're just there. So whatever one egg really gives us hormones, now all of the other ones are also contributing, like 1%, 0.1%, whatever. When there are loads and loads of them, now your brain is confused. Now it doesn't, because the hormone has to come from an only one egg. There are
Right.
so much of hormone. It doesn't really understand. So it stops functioning. It doesn't make the choice of superior egg.
Right.
Because of that, you don't have periods. You have a long gaps between the periods,
Between them.
sometimes three
Right.
months. Yeah, everybody responds to it differently. Like some of them will have once a month, or 3 months once, or 6 months once. So all of these, everybody manifests, I mean, yeah, responds to it very differently.
Right.
This is one sector of PCO, polycystic ovary. Now
Right.
PCODE is, the effects also get into it because of your brain cannot make that function. All
Hmm.
whatever the remaining leftover eggs are there, they are producing the hormones. Because of that,
Right.
you tend to put on weight, and
Because
then
the
you
body is again under stress.
under stress.
Right.
Yes, so it puts on. You're catching on.
Yeah, I'm catching on real quick.
Yes,
Right.
it puts on weight because
Right.
of all the stress, and you have insulin resistance. So you have acne. You have it becomes a very vicious cycle. You don't understand what went wrong,
Right.
where went wrong. It's more like in Telugu we have a saying, "Gudu mundu vachina, kodi mundu vachina." Whether the egg has come first or the hen has,
All right.
come
Right.
first. You don't really understand what's happened. So
Okay.
So this is PCOD. Like
All right.
all the effects also come into it.
Okay.
It's not a
And
disease as such. It's a lifelong condition.
correct. And can this be rectified? Not rectified, I would say, but can this be balanced out with the correct diet, eating less processed food, eating foods that are helping your hormones stay in balance? Again,
Absolutely.
foods that don't spike your insulin constantly, right?
Yes. Yes. Um, I mean, especially in PCO, more than anything, it's the food and the lifestyle that majorly brings about, a difference.
Right.
Yeah. So you have to break your cycle somewhere. So we ask you to start exercising so that you are burning out, and
Some
it
fat
will
that
make
you're
us,
burning
yeah,
out, or your body is
yeah,
basically getting a little bit more active, so better
yes.
blood circulation then.
And insulin resistance also
Right.
reduces with that fat. And also, you're reversing the entire cycle. So whatever leftover eggs are there, that unnecessary eggs are there, so they start dying out.
Okay.
Yeah. Or your brain can make a better choice among the good lot it has.
Right.
When you eat healthy, when I say, here I would say not the clean food. I would ask you to have a healthy food.
Wholesome meal, basically,
Yes.
wholesome food,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
A
So when
balanced
I
out meal.
Yeah, so it has to have a good amount of macronutrients,
Right.
micronutrients. It has to have a correct amount of carbs, like lean proteins, and
Right.
your fats. All of them, have to be in a correct proportion. Now, this
Right.
proportion changes from person to person. This is
Correct.
where a nutritionist will, professional help will be much useful here, because 70% is the diet and 30% is the
Correct. That's
exercise.
so true. I keep hearing it all the time, yet I don't want to listen. It's and I think we're all sort of in that. So,
Yeah.
right. So I did have a few more questions, which you did answer already about the PCOS. And what do you think are the factors that are contributing to rise of PCOS or other fertility issues in men and women? Apart from obesity, what are the other things that you think are, leading to more increased number of people having to seek out medical intervention to conceive or to lead a more fulfilling life?
Okay. Uh, All right. So apart from obesity, again, it's to do with the an ovulation itself. When there is no egg forming on the right time, your pregnancies get delayed. When there
Right.
is no proper sperm production, or something wrong with the sperm, again, your fertility gets delayed. So it's not just the female now. We evaluate when you come for a fertility treatment. We evaluate both, because fertility affects both of them equally.
Right.
And when you talk, it's always as a couple we talk to you.
Right.
Never it's individual.
That's
Um,
true.
and also, nowadays, I mean, to endometriosis is also on the race. That is one of the
But
reasons also
how does endometrius get affected by your diet? Does that have anything to do with diet, or is it
uh,
purely based on hormonal imbalance?
it's not really hormone imbalance as well. Endometriosis is the inflammation that is happening,
Right.
and the like proper pathophysiology is not clear yet. But there are lots and lots of theories to it.
But
So
there are lots of foods that also can increase inflammation in your body, right?
yes, once it's already there, the food can aggravate it. But as such, the food itself will not cause endometriosis.
Right.
Yeah.
So, what are
So
the foods that you think contribute to increasing inflammation in the body?
all the foods which have free radicals, again I would go back to endocrine disrupting chemicals, all these processed foods, all the what else.
The class 2 preservatives or
Yes, all the long
taste
shelf life.
enhancers, do they impact?
Sorry.
Taste enhancers?
Yes, all
They
of
do.
this, anything that is easy, the bad things are always easy to find.
Anything that is not real, basically.
Yes,
Okay.
you're always attracted to the easy things first, because that's bad. Your devil's mind will tell you go there.
That is true. That's actually great insight. So it's things that are put into the food to increase its shelf life, which is impacting different aspects of your hormonal or your your internal reproductive parts that are causing this, right? Um, Now, how important is hormonal balance for conception? I mean, I went through this journey. So one day they'd be like, "Oh, your estrogen is high. Oh, your this is high." I would be on this cycle of different multivitamins or meds to balance all that out, and it was like a crazy circus. But how how important is that everything, and it's impossible for everything to be balanced out at one point. So how do you manage that? How do we manage it better with foods or with a lifestyle change?
Yeah. So, a newly married couple, or somebody who's young in relationship, they just fall pregnant like that. You don't even have to try for it. That's
Right.
because you don't have stress. You're happy.
True.
You're free. Like I said, fertility is a luxury to the body. Like when you invite somebody to your house, you make sure that how your house is clean and presentable. The same thing
Right.
happens with your body too. When you're happy, your body is presentable. Your hormones are all under check. You have a good egg that is coming out. You have a good sperm that is going. The environment is nice. When you're stressed out again, n number of things can go wrong. One,
Right.
to do with your egg, it may not release on the right time, or whatever egg that comes may be a bad one, or there can be PCO, anything. With the men, again, it's the same thing. They can have erectile dysfunctions. Again, the sperm, a lot of factors to do with the sperm. That also causes doesn't let you fall pregnant again. And
Mm.
your to do with the reproductive organs itself, endometriosis. Just for you to get pregnant, your tubes also have to be functional.
Right.
Just because just the fact that they're open doesn't really solve the purpose there. The egg has to go and pick up the the tube have to go and pick up the egg once
Correct.
it's dropped down. So it has to move. So there are lots and lots of things into it when you go in deeper into the fertility topic. So most of them they're so tensed. First of all, the minute they hear that
A lot of
there are
pressure and stress
lot
and
of
everything.
pressure,
Right.
society pressure, your body pressures, your biological clock pressure. That itself is not a right environment for your baby.
Right.
So, a lot of times, we tell them take a break. It's okay. Leave
Chill for
everything.
a bit.
Yeah,
Chill.
chill for a bit.
Go on a
They-
holiday.
yes, yes. They come spontaneously pregnant even after 3-4 times failed IVF.
Okay.
I mean, with a good reserve, obviously. Yes. Yeah.
Nice. That's great. So, do you have any client stories that you can share with us who was struggling with, say, PCOS, and correcting their diet actually help them balance out their hormones and help them basically deal with all the other stuff that comes with PCOS?
Yes, a lot of them actually, especially when not just for a younger couple, like when you ask them to lose weight, just by losing 2-3 kgs in their body weight, their ovulation happens on time. Most of them, they fall pregnant naturally without any help from us.
Okay.
And also with endometriosis also in a not very advanced stages, in a milder forms and all that. When you have the right proper foods, you do have spontaneous ovulations. You do fall pregnant because the inflammation is coming.
Okay.
So again, the food really plays a role here. In the first half of cycle, there's certain kind of food you eat. In the second half of the cycle, there's certain kind of a food you eat. So
Right.
it balances the hormones. It balances the side effects of your imbalance that's going on in your body.
Correct.
Food is a permanent solution.
We're thinking about it 15% of the time. We better be eating it right. So, are there any foods? And this, we've got so many of these recommendations. The old wife tales. Oh, ye khao or jaldi se pregnant ho jaoge. Like I remember, I was having the core of the pineapple that has bromelain, right? It helps conception. So at some point, like during that 14-day period, I was having bromelain every day, like the core of the pineapple, to ensure that it would help. I don't know if it did or did not, but there are certain foods that they say help you naturally. So what are the foods that you would recommend for people who are trying to conceive, to basically clean their systems out or sort of reset their hormones? uh,
I wouldn't specifically say because again there's two school of thoughts for pineapples. Some sector believe
I'm
that
not saying
pineapples PCOS.
specifically pineapples.
Yeah.
No, I
So
mean in general, what would be like if a client comes to you and says, "Is there anything you recommend I can eat which would help me?" What is the suggestion that you would give them?
one suggestion I can give is turmeric, the pure
Okay.
form of turmeric. That itself reduces the inflammation that is going on in
Right.
your
Yeah.
body. So that does help. Aloe vera also helps.
Okay.
Um, yeah, these are all anti-inflammatory and they're rich in antioxidants.
Right.
Yeah, so these and then also
What about coconut oil? I'm a big fan of coconut oil.
healthy fats again, processed.
Yes.
Yeah, cold pressed
Yeah,
coconut oil. Yes,
cold press
yes,
coconut oil. Yeah.
oil. Yes. See, all of them when it comes down to like the healthy food again,
Hmm.
not just the clean food, it's the healthy food.
Right.
When you have the right amount of balance of all the foods, like, some of them you need more carbs, some of them you need more proteins.
Right.
Yeah. So there is no one food that, you have to eat this to, make it work. It should be all together. You
Right.
need macro, also micronutrients. If you're
True.
if you're deficient in iron, we give you iron supplements. It's the same way. So you, instead of giving you the medication or tablet form, we ask you to replace it with the food.
Right. That's
That
that's,
way.
makes sense, yes. So I think what we'll do is we'll open this up for questions. If anyone has any questions on Insta or on Zoho, please type them out or raise a hand, and we'll try and answer them. We've got tons of people who've joined in on Insta. So anyone who's got questions related to fertility or related to hormonal imbalance, conception, you're trying to basically get pregnant and it's not happening. Do you have any questions related to that? Please type those out. We've got one over here. What are the foods that help increase your libido? Any foods that you can recommend?
um, yes. There's drumstick,
Oh,
and
moringa,
yes,
right?
yes, yes. That's one, and then dark chocolate,
Okay,
that also.
right.
But again, it'll all come down to the basis of
That's true. That's true. I mean, there's not just going to be one food that helps, but well, for
yes,
those, for the person who asked, yes, you can go out and get some
sometimes
drumsticks
coffee
and
also.
coffee. Okay,
Yes,
all right,
they're all
coffee,
edible.
drumsticks, and dark chocolate. Don't have them together. That's not going to work. Put your drumsticks in your sambar. Right. Um,
So basically, it's the again for ladies, you have soya. Plant-based soya has estrogen in it.
right, right.
So the all the estrogen, basically the estrogen and the testosterone, these are the foods that you
Right. So
look
there's
for.
also this myth that as too much of estrogen, so estrogen-based foods are not good for men to have, right? That they'll tell men that, oh, you shouldn't have soya milk or you shouldn't have too much of Nutri-Nuggets or soya-based products because it has estrogen and it's not good for them. Is there any truth to that?
Not really. See, uh, estrogen, testosterone, all these hormones, they come from the cholesterol.
Okay.
Cholesterol is there in both of you. It's just
Right.
that it like it divides down to a different component in a woman and a different
Mm-hmm.
component in a man. And for women also, there should be a minimum amount of testosterone for your libido.
Correct.
It's not
Yes.
it's not really estrogen that that pushes you. It's the testosterone that is there in you. So
Right.
there should be a minimal amount of that. And the same applies to the man as well. They just have more testosterone in them. That is
Mhm.
predominant over there.
Right. Okay. Well, that's good to hear. I think that is all the time that we have now. A big thank you to Dr. Sindhura. If you have any further questions related to fertility, IVF, hormonal imbalance, and would like to consult her, she is reachable at Cloud9 Hospitals in Banjara Hills, that's in Hyderabad. And you can also follow them on Instagram, Cloud9 underscore Cloud9 underscore care. The details will also be posted on our social media pages. That's White Dot Basket on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So you can connect with us. We'll post these videos out. We'll also post some other information. If you missed some part of this talk and would like to share it with friends and family who may benefit from the information, then please go to our YouTube page, White Dot Basket, or you can also go onto our Instagram page. We have a lot more talks coming up with various different amazing doctors, some gastroenterologists, nutritionists, and pediatricians who can help us understand what clean food is. So please drop your email in the subscription link on our website. That's white.basket.com. I'm Prerna Mokha, co founder for White Dot Basket, in conversation with Dr. Sindhura, helping you find the easy way to eat clean